Good morning, everyone. We are back with more Barnstable this morning on this snowy Friday morning. I'm Sarah Colvin, and joining me live on the phone from the Massachusetts Emergency Management Agency, Peter Judge. Peter, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
My pleasure, Sarah.
So, Peter, what's the latest update from MEMA? What have we got going on out there?
Well, our major focus with this, as far as the major potential problem, has been the coastal flooding. So therefore, we've basically made it through the first two of the three key high tides. The last one being at midnight last night. We've got one more to go at noon today. We've been very fortunate. We're expecting at least some moderate flooding along particularly east-facing coasts during the night last night, and I don't think we got much more than minor splash over and some road flooding. So therefore, I think we dodged a bullet there. But this one we're going to see this morning at noontime can be a little bit more problematic. So we're going to watch that very, very carefully.
Absolutely, and especially for us here on Cape Cod, where we really are surrounded by that water, and there's really so many homes and things going on by the water. To keep an eye on those big high tides, certainly important. And we just had a full moon recently, too, and that usually means we have larger than normal high tides, too.
Right, absolutely. They're astronomically high. And also last night, the water built up in Cape Cod Bay and just didn't have enough time to recede. So it's starting at a higher level than the previous high tide. So therefore, we're really watching this with a wary eye. And so we want to tell people who maybe have taken some steps last night. Local officials and some of these communities have asked people to, if not evacuate, at least monitor the water, and if they do have to leave, then do so. I just want to let them think that this is over. It's far from over yet. We got one more to go, so don't put your guard down right now.
Exactly, and certainly the snow continues to fall, and as we all noticed on our ride into work this morning, certainly whiteout conditions are very dangerous out there. Aside from the high tides, Peter, what else are we experiencing in this storm? And can we call it a true nor'easter?
Yes, it is a nor'easter and actually blizzard conditions. You've had the three consecutive hours of less than a quarter-mile visibility and more than 3 consecutive hours of 35-mile-an-hour sustained wind. So meteorologically, it is a blizzard, particularly down in the Cape. And the Cape is going to be the last group to leave the party here. Out in western and central Massachusetts, the snow is starting to let up, but it's moving basically from northwest to southeast. So the Cape will be the last folks standing when snow is still coming down. So you folks still have quite a bit to go before all is done. So therefore, I think it's important, folks who can stay in today, please do so for two reasons. One, we want to get those roads open, and we want to get them all cleaned up. The folks out there with plows are doing a pretty good job right now, but you can help them by not interfering with them, by not being on the road. The other thing is the extreme temperatures. Even on the Cape, we're going to see single digits. And we're not talking wind chill factors. We're talking real temperatures in single digits today and tonight. And there are some places as you move off the Cape that are going to be well below zero, in some cases as low as 18 below zero. So therefore, it's going to be very dangerous to be out the next 24 hours. So I think it's important for people to minimize their time outside. And if you've got some elderly folks or kids or pets, you want to really consider the amount of time you let them be outside over the next 24 hours.
Absolutely. Very, very good advice, Peter. And of course, I think there's some things that people should keep in mind even once the snow stops to fall. Certainly, is there any advice that you can pass along for people to stay safe once the blizzard conditions are over?
Well, the nice thing about this storm is, I guess the upside of having these very cold temperatures is the snow is very light and fluffy. And so therefore, we've seen minimal, if any, power outages. Matter of fact, I think the last number I saw was a total of 69 power outages, folks without power across the entire state, which is what we see on a sunny day. So we've been very lucky in that regard. So the cleanup as far as shoveling goes and cleaning up should not be a problem for people. But something to look forward to, and I hate to get ahead of myself here, but the next couple of days you're looking at maybe a serious rainstorm coming in. Now, this nice fluffy snow on your roof is going to act as a sponge when it starts to rain over the next, I think Sunday night. So therefore, over the next, as we get into Saturday, if you have an opportunity to get out there to get as much of that snow off your roof as safely as possible with a snow rake, or get some young person who knows what they're doing up on your roof to minimize the amount of snow up there, because if that doesn't occur, we may be seeing roof collapses as we did a few years ago, as we had a major rainstorm following a major snowstorm. So it's just, I don't want people to worry about it now. It's not something that be concerned about for the next couple of days, but it's something that they should consider down the road here.
Absolutely, something to keep in mind. I think it's something that really usually isn't at the forefront of our mind, is getting that snow off the roof, but thinking about, it's sucking up all the rain that could come our way.
Right, particularly flat roofs, or, if you got a real steep pitch in your roof, it shouldn't be a concern. But if you have, it's usually on porch roofs or garages where you've got a relatively flat or not too much of a pitch, that's what you want to be concerned about.
Great. So certainly, Peter, the worst isn't over for us here on the Cape. Still several more hours. When do we expect the snow to stop falling? Is it around noontime like we've been hearing, or is it going to be continuing on?
Last I heard, it could stretch into the late afternoon hours on the Cape. Maybe the serious snow may start ending around noon, but I think you're going to still see some particularly blowing snow well into the late afternoon. So don't get ahead of yourselves yet. You still got a day full of snowstorm ahead of you down on the Cape.
Absolutely. And are we, as you said, we're kind of getting the tail end of this storm. Are we here on the Cape seeing the worst of it in terms of all of the snow across Massachusetts? What's it like up in Boston?
Things are relatively good, not as fierce as it was. The worst spot really during, of course, yesterday was up in Essex County. They were at 24 inches at one point yesterday. There was a band of snow that just kind of sat there all afternoon, so they were very unique. But ultimately, I think that the Cape will probably end up as the area with maybe the second largest amount. Usually these events, we tend to see Worcester County or Western Mass get the bonus numbers, and we get a little less. And it's sort of reversed here. Eastern Massachusetts, matter of fact, it's the farther eastern Massachusetts places are the places that did get and will get the most snow when all is said and done.
Great. Well, Peter, I thank you so much, as always, for joining us here on Barnstable this morning. Keep up the good work, and thank you again so much.
Okay, Sarah, thanks a lot, and everyone be safe.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye.